Hey guys, Jimmy E. Newkirk from Bloomsfield, New Jersey here with another crazy card trick tutorial. This time it's going to be less of a card trick, more of 3 super easy, I would dare say world's easiest card forces for all the clickbait SEOs. If you guys are a fan of card forces, you should subscribe. You should definitely subscribe. And join the academy down below. I go over all the things you need to do to go from a beginner all the way to an expert in Magic. So do all those things. Hashtag get piggy to 100K. You know what it is. You know what I'm talking about. All the jive. So today we're going to go over 3 very simple card forces and add a little bit of a piggy touch to those to make those bulletproof, because I know I've seen these forces elsewhere. However, usually they're done incorrectly. Let's just be frank. Actually, Jimmy E. Newkirk from Bloomsfield, New Jersey. So without any further ado, let's get right into the forces. Hey boys! I heard you guys like card forces. So here's the first one that I'm going to show you using these Kopag 310s. Oh boy, I'm so excited. I just can't wait to see what's inside when it focuses. That's just any day. There you go. Oh yeah. So here, the first force is going to employ the use of playing cards. That's a joke. They all employ the use of playing cards. So for this one, let's say we want to force any card in particular. Let's say the Ace of Diamonds. So what we're going to have the spectator do is just lift up a small portion of cards and turn them over on the deck. Just do that. But you inform them to cut deeper and turn it over so you don't hit your face-up cards there. So they go ahead and do this. You're holding a deck. They lift up as many cards as they want, obviously cutting deeper than you did. And you tell them to turn it face up on top of the deck. So in this case, we've cut to the 9 of clubs, but I could see this card. So we'll just go for the first face down card here that you cut to, sir. Oh, that happens to be the Ace of Diamonds. Oh, that's the force card. Well, Jippy Kaye, I just forced that card on you, sir. So this, if you haven't recognized it, is the Ed Balducci force. This one is from the late 40s, credited to Ed Balducci. Ed Marlowe has some touches on this particular force, as well as doing it with multiple cards and doing it in succession. However, this, I think, is just a little bit of a Ed Marlowe and piggy addition to it, because I've realized that the initial force, which I'm going to describe now, is not so good. Not so good. So I enjoy doing it this way because it's a little bit more deceptive. So the original force is that you tell the spectator to first cut off a small packet of cards and turn them face up on top of the deck. Then you tell them to cut even deeper and do the same action. So turn over that card on top of the deck. So what they've done, essentially, is that when you spread to the first face down card, which this is a double backer, once you spread to the first face down card, this is the original top card. So let's go through that here. So this is the top card, right? And it's on top of the deck. You guys are so smart. This is why you guys are watching this video. So the initial force is that you tell the spectator to cut off a small packet of cards and turn them face up on top of the deck. So they go ahead and do that. Notice where the 4 of hearts is now, right? Hey, boy. So now when you tell them to cut deeper and do the same action, you're in the position where the first face down card is going to be the 4 of hearts. That's the original Ed Balducci force. However, what I've done is that I've just broken it down. I've just broken it down in stages. So here, the force card remains on top. It's going to be the 4 of hearts. You tell the spectator that in a moment what they're going to do, and you're matching actions to words here. Oh, yeah. You're matching action to words. You're picking up a small pile and you say, in a moment, I want you to lift up some cards and turn it face up on top of the deck. But why don't you cut deeper than I did? So we come to a completely random card. So here they're going to cut deeper. And the initial justification for doing the first action, guess what, is you showing them what to do. I think he approves. I think this is definitely Snorlax approved, boy. You know what it is. You fat... So that's the first action. Now when the spectator cuts deeper and turns over the cards, you're in a perfect position where you could spread to the first face down card. If you want, you could justify it and say, oh, I saw this card, so why don't we just go for the first face down card that you actually cut to here, the 4 of hearts. Or you don't even have to say that. You could just say, okay, so let's get the card you cut to here. This one right here. Do me a favor, sir. Don't forget that card. Please remember it. And then at this point, you have successfully forced the 4 of hearts in an efficient yet fast fashion. So let's talk about the next force. Whoa, how did we get over here? Man, that's crazy. There's a table. There's a nice backdrop of odds. Man, you guys get it all with the Pig Cake channel. So here, we're going to talk about 2 different forces that are done at the table. These are very easy to do. However, they're done in a surface that we have deemed a table. If you go to IKEA, you could purchase this particular table. But let's not talk into that. That's for a different tutorial. So for this, let's say we want to force the top card, which is the 3 of clubs. We want to force the top card. That is, in fact, the 3. So how do we do that, I hear you asking, while simultaneously trying to figure out where your life went wrong? You could either hold the cards in your own hand and risk contact by a spectator, or you could place the cards on a table. So either or, depending on your goal. If you want the contact, however, I do suggest you hold the cards in your hand because they will accidentally touch you. And let's be honest, we all need that. So let's assume we're holding the cards in our hands. So the spectators do that. They cut off any number of cards they want. And then you tell the spectators that you want them to remember that in the early 1900s, bears were thought to be mythical creatures. Now, this was in Aboriginal areas of Australia. However, this since has moved to indigenous parts of the United States. So I want you to remember that Snapple Cap fact because it's going to be very important. Wait, you cut to a card here. Why don't you look at the card you cut to, sir? And they, of course, look to the card to the cut to, and it happens to be the 3 of clubs. So you notice that this is the Max Holden cross-cut force. Max Holden. This original force was in the 1920s. That's when this was published. A hot force, one that has since been desecrated to no avail because of its inability to be done correctly. Now, this obviously was done in jest. There was a little bit of a fun banter that you wouldn't actually go into if you're performing this for a spectator, but it does lead to the credible and important subject of time misdirection. Time misdirection, which is going to be very important, as you're going to see in a little bit. So here we have the Ace of Spades. The Ace of Spades, which is going to be the force card. That card remains on top. We have the spectator cut off any number of cards and put it on the table. Then what we're going to do is that we're going to take this half and just stagger it a little bit. Now, in the lore of magic, what's been done and what's been said to do is to say that you're going to put this half crosswise to mark the position of their cut. If you do this, I will cut you. I will find you. I will cut you. You take that as a threat because that's exactly what it is. So you don't do this. Don't do that. That leads to them thinking that there's something fishy when in fact there shouldn't be anything fishy. So all you're doing is taking these cards and just staggering it. You're not saying anything about it. The cards just spread smoothly here because of the benign finish of these Kopag 310s. So now what you're going to employ is the use of time misdirection. Remember that this is the original upper half that the spectator just cut onto the table. This is technically the cards they cut to, but we're going to put this on top of that half and just distract the spectators from this situation for a couple seconds. You don't need to have a whole minute of byplay. You don't need to have a whole hour of banter. Pretend like you're a mentalist from the 1940s and talk about the cosmos and how that affects your ability to read. You don't need that shit. You don't need any of that shit. All you need is, I would say, 3 seconds of distraction from this deck. So you could ask the spectator, sir, is there any reason why you cut to that particular position in the deck? No? Okay, that's interesting. Sir, have you ever performed a card trick yourself? No? Okay. Sir, when was the last time that you have enjoyed the touch of a person of the opposite sex? You know, whatever it takes to distract the spectator for just 3 seconds. After sufficient time has passed, you pick up this half and you tell the spectator, look at the card that they cut to. And of course, when the spectators look at that, they're looking at the original top card. However, because you've distracted their attention from the situation, they can't recall the order of proceedings here. So they don't remember if this was the original top card. They don't remember if this is the original top card. They don't know anything. They're lay people, honestly. They should be taken out back and shot by the sheriff. So that is the crosscut force. This is simply also could be done from the table. So you just have the spectator cut the cards, and then you just stagger this over here, and you're good to go. And you don't even have to lift up this half. You could just tell the spectator, look at the card they cut to. In this case, we have the Ace of Spades. Oh yeah, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what's inside. So let's go into the next force. Oh yeah. We're already at the table, so we're going to be doing it here. Now, let's say for this particular force, we want to force any random card. You guys at home, think of any card you want in the deck. Think of any card. You got it? All right. The 10 of Hearts. There's probably 3 of you that lost your absolute shit right now. But we're going to force the 10 of Hearts. And here, what we do is that we tell the spectator that to name any number between 1 and 10. Let's say they name 5. So you tell the spectator, sir, what I want you to do is in a moment, I want you to deal 5 cards just to the table, just like this. And I want you to look at the 5th card and remember it. Can you do that? Are you capable of that? Okay, let me just make sure that we're on the up and up. Sir, go ahead and do that. And the spectator takes the cards in their hands. So you make sure that their hands are clean before you do this. That's always important. And now, guess what? You're ready. You're ready to go. So the spectator deals the 5 cards. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This also ensures to you that the spectator knows how to count, which is going to be an important quality to have if you're going to show them card tricks. They, of course, look at the card. And guess what? It happens to be our force card, the 10 of Hearts. Where to go? So here, all you're doing is the recount force. From my understanding, this goes way back. However, the earliest publication that I could find on paper and not on a stone or some sort of rune found in a deep forest in Venezuela is from 1909's Art of Magic by T. Nelson Downs. T. Nelson Downs is known for his Downs palm, also known for the popular disease. That's kind of... So here's how it is. You're going to have the force card on top of the deck. In this case, it's going to be the 10 of Hearts. And you're going to ask the spectator, name any number between 1 and 10. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to illustrate the process to the spectator while simultaneously setting up the conditions of the force here. So let's say the spectator happens to say 4. You're going to deal 4 cards onto the table here and tell them, in a moment, I want you to deal 4 cards just like that. Look at the top card and remember it. Are you capable of that? Could you do that? Of course, in that action, what have I done? This card is now 4th from the top of the deck. You guys are following along. You guys know. You guys are going to do all the things and join the academy. So that force card is now on the bottom. So when you put this packet on top of the deck, guess what? When they deal down 4 cards themselves and they look at this card, it's going to be the force card. However, you don't just want to do it like that. That seems a little bit suspect. So you want to add a little bit of a false cut to the mix. Now, you don't have to be super fancy like I am and do a super Thompson false cut. What you could do is just a very simple swing cut false cut, which I'm going to go over now. So let's say the force card one more time, 10 of Hearts. Spectator names any number between 1 and 10. Let's say they go for 4 again. So you tell them, sir, in a moment, I want you to deal 4 cards onto the table just like this. Look at the card that you dealt to and remember it. Are you capable of that? Okay, perfect. Now, I'll tell you what. Let's just do this fairly, sir. I don't want to touch the cards. Take them into your own hand and deal them onto the table. I won't look. And of course, in that action, you've done a simple swing cut, false cut. The way this works, without cards launching everywhere, is that you take the cards into your right hand. You're going to use your forefinger to lift up a packet and cut that into your left hand. Then you're going to use this packet to just tap, square everything up. I've seen this done where the person does this, one of these actions. It's not a necessary action. All that you're doing is squaring up the cards. That's all that's happening. So you're swing cutting the top portion into the left hand. You're just squaring the cards up briefly in the right hand. And then you're going to drop this right hand onto the table. Then you're going to drop this on top of the cards. Do it in a way that's staggered. You see that? So that they actually generally think that a cut took place. But really, guess what? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. So we'll keep that card face up. See? It's going back on top. You know what it is. You guys know what's happening. So that's the force. Then the spectator deals the cards onto the table. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. They look at their card, and it happens to be the 10 of Hearts. And you have successfully done a card force on them. So let's go back to the... Oh, uh, hey there. So those were 3 easy card forces you guys could use to force any card in the entire deck. You could force the Ace of Spades, the 2 of Spades, the 3 of Spades, the 4 of Spades. You could force the 5 of Spades, the 6 of Spades, the 7 of you could force any card in the deck that you want, but in an easy yet effective fashion. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys do all the things that people do when they hit up on YouTube.com. I'm gonna go figure out different ways to remember that it's not Christmas. I'm gonna go figure out different ways to remember that it's not Christmas. All right.
When I see you again, 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 when I see you again.